Hi team, welcome to Back Care Advent. So today we are going to do a rotation exercise because, if I bring you over to Bob here, we have structure within our body that travels in diagonals. So it goes from one hip over to one shoulder and the same on the other side, and then goes down our legs, okay? This is how we move. This is how we ambulate. This is why we have one leg forward and the opposite arm involving movement patterns. Now this is referred to as the sling. It can be the diagonal superficial line. It doesn't really matter what you know it as. The principle is the fascia, or the tissue that connects everything together, is moving in a diagonal or an oblique line. And why do we need to in particular focus on giving this some length? Well, if one side is bunched and one side is long because we sit cross-legged, or we are dominant in a sport like tennis, for example, where we're using one arm more than the other, all the musculature round about here can have different amounts of tone, and it can lead to other biomechanical problems and make our discs and vertebrae a little bit more vulnerable. So adding in this gentle fascia stretch or fascial line length, what we can do is ease the tension through the musculature around the spine, particularly the quadratus lumborum. Now the quadratus lumborum attaches from our bottom rib down to our iliac crest here, or no, this is the ischium, sorry, the big part of the pelvis right by here. So the QL is responsible for lateral reflection of the pelvis, but also a lot of stability. So you can imagine if one side is stronger than the other, there's going to be a lot of imbalances in here. Anywho, let's get on with the stretch. So this one, we're going to be quite passive with the stretch, as in we're going to find our end range and we're going to breathe through it. And as with physics, if the lever length is long, it's going to be much harder than if the lever length is short. So let's start with the short lever length, and then if you wanted to, you can increase the length of your lever. Let me show you. So we're going to start down on the floor on our back. Now I'm going to use my far leg because the movement pattern is going to be there. We're going to lengthen out one leg, doesn't matter which one. Try to keep this leg pushed down, okay? The other leg, you're going to start by drawing it in to your chest. If you wanted to, you could make it more out towards the shoulder, just to open up the hip a little bit, pushing this leg down into the floor. And then the recline twist itself is to bring that leg as far over as you can manage, and keeping your opposite arm to the floor. Now to begin with, that's going to be quite tricky. You might find you're up here, that your knee can only get to here. It's all good. Go with what you can. And then we're going to wait here. So you're going to try and push very, very gently. Never ever go to the point of pain. And you're going to breathe. And each time you take an exhale, hopefully you'll be able to relax into that a little bit more. So my shoulder is pretty much on the floor and my knee is touching. So this is a short lever. If I wanted to make it a long lever, I'm just going to extend my leg. Changes the stretch, feels pretty epic. It's quite a strong stretch all the way down. And it actually becomes more of a neurological stretch when the leg is straight, but that's also fine. We need to be doing those kinds of things as well. And then to finish or to complete the stretch, bend your knee and then use your hands to help lift it. Bring it back here, hug it in, bring the other leg in, hug that leg in now. Now we're going to swap over. So you can bring that leg out to the shoulder, and then recline twist, so go all the way over, keeping this opposite arm on the floor, and breathe. Keep those shoulders pressed into the floor as best you can. And each time you exhale, aiming to get that knee to drop just a little bit. If you're already to the floor, now is a perfect time to lengthen that leg. Make the lever just a little bit longer. And then we wait and relax, concentrating on your shoulder and your hip. Once you've done enough, lift the knee back into the middle, hug your knee. You can bring the other knee in here as well. And then you can sit up and complete that. So recline twist is about opening up and rotating, allowing that diagonal oblique line to feel a beautiful stretch. Very useful if you're spending a lot of time in one position at any one time and you're feeling that your hips are a little bit stiff.